Fantasy Goats? Welcome to a Friday night edition of some straight fire. To my right is the big dog, BIGDAWG, Big Dog, JX Sports. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. We made it to another Friday. I hope everyone's having a relaxed Friday to have a great weekend. I know we're all finally starting to get some weather across, some good weather across the country. So hope you go out and enjoy it.
I'm going to enjoy the nice weather while it lasts because out here
Hmm.
it's going to turn to crap next week. Hey, before we get started, we just got to wish the Shepherd a happy birthday. Hope you're enjoying it. He's off tonight, enjoying his family and stuff. Dude, what a week, man. Starts off with a beef with Lance Zerline and some fantasy football content creators that it was I could see both sides of the argument, but it's kind of funny. And then we get into the Dan Orlovsky saying that Mendoza is not QB1, and then he kind of got destroyed at Pat McAfee show. They kind of called him out. And then you see Todd McShay doing the same thing. So with that, then late breaking news: Trinidad Chambliss is eligible to go back to
Hmm.
college. So with that being said, if he would have been not eligible and had to be drafted, would that change your quarterback too? And who's your quarterback too?
No, not for me. It wouldn't have changed. I think everyone has the kind of like their traits that they favor more than others. I favor stronger arms. I favor a little more gunslinger type mentality. I figure, a guy that's really going to push the ball down the field, and that's why Garrett Nussmeier has been like steadily my quarterback
Yes.
too. And I think I'm not saying like he's just like should be a first round pick or anything like that, but I just think in this quarterback class that we have, he's just the guy I favor more. Um,
Really?
Trinidad Chambliss, Trinidad Chambliss, and Ty, they're just and I know Nussmeier is small too, but they're really small, and it's hard for me to get behind a quarterback that reminds me of Brock Purdy so much. Like I know everyone, and I'm not trying to knock Brock Purdy, but through his career, he's gotten hurt quite a bit.
Right.
And the quarterback, I mean, the position you need most to be on the field, readily available to you, is quarterback. We can't be missing 2 to 3 games a year.
So you have Nussmeier as your quarterback too.
Yeah, Nussmeier is like right now, like just and because mostly because of the news of this week and like actually
Yeah.
like putting a fine comb through Tide through a lot of film study. Yeah, Nussmeier is my QB too.
So what do you think about the news this week about the Rams going out there having a private talk with him? They don't do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, and I think they kind of almost agree with me in a sense. Like they kind of want after Stafford's gone, kind of have that same type of quarterback who isn't afraid to push the football down the field,
Hmm.
who's not afraid to kind of put it in certain windows, take some chances, and will they, make mistakes sometimes? Yes, but I think that's just more the quarterback style that you need to win. And I know that Seattle won in a different way, but for majority of the time, you're gonna need a guy there to make some throws.
And I know the Rams want a little bit of a mobile quarterback too to open up McVay's, and Nuss a little bit. He's mobile.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, I
mobile.
mean, and I always think when people talk about mobility, they always look at the Lamar Jacksons of the, but
Hmm.
but honestly, I look back at watching football. You know who the most mobile quarterback was to me?
Who?
Tom Brady. His pocket mobility
Yeah.
was so great that he didn't need to run 10 yards. He didn't need to run 5 yards. He was just so mobile in the pocket that he could stand there all day, and you would think he was a statue. But guess what? That statue was elusive. So
I I love that. I love
yeah,
that.
he wasn't just standing there the whole time. I mean, there was really a difference. There's a difference between him and Peyton Manning as far as like just being elusive in the pocket, keeping their eyes downfield, and making the right throw.
Is there a quarterback that the public is getting wrong right now?
Is there one? I mean, I know, like I said, everyone has their favorites.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll remain silent because I'm already dying on that 2 hour hill.
Yeah, I mean, I think one that they're kind of in both on both sides. I think Cole Payton is kind of being elevated too high, but
Oh,
also at the
really?
same time, I think people are a little bit some are a little bit too low on him at the same way. I've seen people say he should be a first round pick. I've
Oh,
seen
no,
people
no,
say,
no.
yeah, I've heard radio people say he should be a first round pick. I'll be comfortable taking him in the first round. And I've seen some people say he shouldn't be drafted. I kind of wish the analysis on him was a little more meeting in the middle. I think he's a great project for somebody. I think he has a lot
I
to
think
work
so
on.
too.
I think he'd be a great third round, fourth round pick for a team.
With the Jets picking at 16, and word that they had a private meeting with Ty Simpson, is that just smoke and mirrors, or do you think there's something there?
I think there's a possibility. I think when you're a team like the Jets, you kind of got to keep throwing the darts until you finally hit one. I can't remember the last time the Jets had a franchise quarterback, and if you take one now and you immediately know it doesn't work out, why not try again next year when there's 7 or 8 available for you?
They've had a lot of wannabe franchise quarterbacks that they thought was going to be franchise quarterback, and I think Frank Wright's system might fit him pretty good too. And he could sit behind Geno Smith for a year
Yeah,
and
absolutely,
be fine.
absolutely.
So trait a quarterback's assistant quarterback, or is a quarterback has to be assistant quarterback better than system proof quarterback? You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I think that kind of goes back to my first evaluation of like who's my quarterback too. Like I said, I'm more. It's like I said, it's always what's your preference, you know. If you ask Mike Shanahan who he wants the guy to do everything right. But I want a guy who that let's say I'm calling the game excellently, right, as a play caller. But that one time that I don't call it right, he makes me look right. That's the
Oh,
guy that I
I
want.
like that. Yeah,
Yeah, because as great as all these play callers are in the NFL, they're not always going to be 100% right.
a little
I
bit
need
of a
somebody
gunslinger
to cover
mentality.
me.
Yeah, a little bit of gunslinger mentality. So traits versus production, which is better? Do you think?
And that's a good question. History tells us production is probably the way to go, but when traits hit, traits
It hit.
absolutely hit.
I think I think it's a happy medium. I think you need the production, but you need those traits. You need the gunslinger traits, the ones like you said that aren't afraid to push the ball down the field, no matter what happens. And then what they do, if it doesn't work out, then they shake it off, go back lineup, have a sip of Gatorade, look at film, and go, okay, this is what I need to do next.
Exactly, and they go down there, put that foot in the grass, and just sling it again. Like I just love that. I mean, it's almost like a pitcher's mentality, right?
Yeah,
Like you threw a fastball, and they're like, wait, no, it's too far over the plate. It's a home run, but guess what? It's a home run. So what? Now you got to go back out there and you strike out 10. No one remembers that home run. They just remember the 10 strikeouts you had, and you were like, he was masterful after that. And that's kind of I want my quarterback mentality to be. I don't want to be like, all right, man, go play back into the system because you made a mistake, and I want my guy to go out there, kind of down on his shield.
yeah, I agree. Hey,
But let's for sure. I know we've been talking about quarterbacks this whole time. Let's transition, of course, to the skill positions.
yes,
Uh,
sir, let's go. Uh
which are yeah. So you know, particularly for a quarterback that or running back that I'm kind of in between on. Our team's making the right decision with Jeremiah Love. That's pretty high draft capital, man. What are you thinking?
yeah, look at him. I mean, he has a little bit Jameer Gibbs off him. What I forgot somebody described it. Jameer Gibbs and somebody else like a baby. He's a full on three down back. He's a bell cow. He's a can't miss product. Even if he gets traded or drafted in maybe a not very good situation, I think he's foolproof. I think he's a can't miss in this class. He's the only one that's probably can't miss.
Yeah, I know a lot of analysts have deemed him as generational. A lot of Twitter scouts, a lot of GMs, everyone. He's generational, can't miss. But
I hate that word generational.
I do too, because like I said, my opinion, I don't think he's generational.
No, he's
But
not.
I mean, with that being said, do you think there's like one knock against him? Do you think there's something that, he's not perfect? Like, what do you think?
Pass protection maybe might be the one knock against him. He's not the best at pass protection,
Hmm.
which is probably the theme for a lot of these running backs coming out this year is pass protection.
Absolutely, and that's one kind of, and I think this goes along with it, and this is kind of why I don't have him in that type of different type of player bucket. He's not the biggest guy,
No,
he's fairly small. I mean, when you are fairly small like that, I expect you to be fast, quick, and elusive. And with that, sometimes your pass pro isn't up to standard. So he's of course going to figure that out against NFL players.
he's small, but he runs with freaking power. He runs people over. He's not afraid of contact.
Oh, absolutely. No, he definitely. What I see with him is always, as soon as he puts his foot in the ground, he's going to 100. He's not really waiting for anything to happen. He's running right through everybody that's in his way.
Yeah,
But of course, we know Jeremiah Love is one. I mean, who is your running back to?
that's a great question because things have switched lately with me.
Mm.
Um, I'll give you three names, no particular order, but the one name I'll give first is Jonah Coleman. Now, me and you were first talking about rookie running backs, I had him at number 5.
Hmm.
There was something about him that at that time I looked as like, I don't know. But then after talking to some people that I highly respect, I went back and looked at half hour, 45 minutes of film on him. I was like, damn, my ass was all kinds of wrong about him. And the one thing he's the best running back for pass protection.
Yes, he is.
He's not the fastest, but he gets downfield, and he can catch the ball. And the one thing that I love to look at when looking at running back prospects is ball security.
Hmm.
Not one drop pass, not one fumble for him.
Hmm.
Then my next two would be to Darian Price and Mike Washington. Now, Mike Washington, there's still some things that are a little bit off about him. That if you really look at the film, man, but the upside of him is tremendous. So I'll buy that upside. And Jadarian Price, he came out early. Maybe he should not have, but he has all the tools too. I still think if because he was in the same backfield as Jeremiah Love, if you have hit the transfer portal and went to a different team, he would have been RB1, and his numbers will look different. But he can pass and catch too. But he sometimes is a little impatient and hits the outside instead of waiting for the blocks inside. But man, when he hits the second level, just like Jeremiah Love, freaking, then he's gone. He's gone.
Do you think, I didn't really think about it until now. Do you think that impatience has to do with, if I don't make a play right now, they're going to take me out for Jeremiah Love? I wonder if that's something like that's in his mind, consistently. Like, I can't just get 4 yards, 5 yards. I got to make a splash play now. If not, here comes Jeremiah right behind me.
And I think that, and plus maybe not fully trusting his offensive line.
Interesting.
And then the one other thing about him is I like running backs, wide receivers, whatever, that have the dual threat of special teams. He freaking when he played when Notre Dame played SC last year, he freaking lit it up in the second half, man. He had like a 69-yard touchdown run. He had a kickoff return for a touchdown. He's freaking man, he gets that ball and kick off, and he's bam down the field, man. So those are the three. I think they're interchangeable,
Mhm.
as RB2. But I think Jonah Coleman maybe has the heads up because of the pass protection.
Absolutely. I think, I mean, I see right where you're at with Jonah Coleman. I've been a big Jonah Coleman fan for a while. I think he is the most complete
Yeah,
running back in the draft. He just doesn't have the explosive speed or the quick cuts. He's just going to give you 4 yards every time. He's a really good pass catcher, and he
Mhm.
blocks really well. Who does that sound like?
Sounds like Kyron Williams.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
And
a little bit, just a little bit heavier.
yeah, just a little bit thicker, but no, like that's Kyron Williams, and those running backs, those are $12 million running backs. Those are top 15 running backs in the league. So, no, I've really been a fan of Coleman because his floor is so good. Is his
Yeah.
ceiling the highest? Not really, but his floor is so good that I think that's what's going to warrant him being a second or third round pick.
So okay, so with the running backs, what's better, have the nice floor or a higher ceiling? You
I
think?
mean, I think it's good to have the nice floor.
I think so
Um,
too. There's longevity to that.
exactly. Of course, Bijan's nice. Gibbs is nice. Saquon's nice. Don't be wrong.
Right.
But out of those three guys, only one's won a Super Bowl. We don't see many high-profile backs, winning Super Bowls anymore because this is the way the NFL is changing. They're not the guy anymore. They're
Yeah.
not give him 400 carries, lead us to the promised land. That's just not the way the NFL rolls anymore.
Yeah.
But no, like yeah, I just really think the floor is just really great. Is a really great thing to have because you know what you're going to get. You just know.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed.
Well, let me ask you this.
All right. All right.
What about somebody nobody's talking about right now in the running back room?
What's his name? Adam Randall.
Hmm.
Converted wide receiver. I
Uh-huh.
think he was 6'3", 2 something.
Yeah, he's
He
he's a big
ran
boy
like a
too.
4.3, if I remember right. He's
Maybe
something.
a
He's
little
something
slower than
that,
that.
huh?
He's a little slower than that, but I got you.
Okay, but he's got good speed, but he's a converted wide receiver, and I think that's something that like that you're seeing go in the third round in rookie drafts right now that could actually become a solid high end RB2, low end RB1 for a team. It's like what Tajay Spears, Tyrone Tracy, these backs that have converted from wide receiver to running back late in the college career,
Hmm.
there's staying power with them
Yep,
because of the receiving upside. You
absolutely.
know,
That's the first person I thought of when you said it, Adam Randall. Is Tyrone Tracy.
yeah,
I mean, 2 years ago when I was, doing Dynasty and starting, I'm getting Tyrone Tracy everywhere
yeah,
because if anything, he has a role on the team. Like he always has a role as a pass catcher,
yeah,
and I think Adam Randall can do the same thing. Like he's always going to have a role, especially being 6'3". He's 230. Like he's a big boy.
yeah,
He's going to have like he's going to have that stand power. They're going to find ways to get him on the field because if anything, he'll be like a good pass pro, good pass catcher, and like, he'll be a important member of the team.
yeah. And there more and more right now in NFL, you're seeing running back by committee,
Exactly.
especially one that freaking can catch because the other one can rest a little bit, and the other one can come in and spill in for like the 2 minute back or third down situational back, and that's staying power.
Hmm.
You know, and those are flex players. You know,
And another thing is, for a lot of those dudes, like Tyrone Tracy included, they don't have running back miles on them.
Mm-mm.
They were a wide receiver at one point. They're not a 22-year-old coming in the league being a running back for the past 22 years. They've been a running back only for the past 2 or 3 years. So
Yeah,
they don't have that same type of tread. And I think that's another underrated thing to think about those type of guys is like you're almost getting a fresh running back you can mold to what you want
yeah.
them to be.
They're kind of like the safeties that are like linebackers hybrids. So
Uh-huh.
they're to me they're like a running back hybrid,
Yeah.
receiver and running back. Hey, Goats, if you like what we're doing here, if you're new to the channel, please do us a favor, like and subscribe, man. We're trying to hit 700. We got fire ass content in the library. Go back and check it out, man. And for all the people that have sub, hey, FantasyGoats Nation, I salute you. Wide receivers, bro. Chris Sims.
Oh my gosh.
Chris Sims came out, and I don't know if he had just smoked a bong or something and decided to come out with the list that he did, but he lit the internet on fire with it. That's for damn sure. You know?
Yeah, Chris Sims and some other guys that we're going to talk about. They do this on purpose. They do this on
Well, they
purpose.
do.
And it's a coincidence that they do this on Monday in the morning at a certain time. So we'll talk about it all week because this happened on Monday. Today is Friday. I'll probably talk about it again tomorrow. Maybe, maybe,
Probably. Probably.
maybe even think about it on Sunday, and then Monday they're going to come up with something crazier. But no, what Chris Sims has showed us is that you can't genuinely judge his wide receiver rankings too well. Last year he had Kyle Williams as his second wide receiver,
Oh my God.
ahead of
Yeah.
Ted McMillan, and this season he has Denzel Boston as wide receiver one, which is just absolutely crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
He has
I
Makai
get
Lemon outside the top five.
Yeah, Makai Lemon outside the top five. Carnell Tate was four, and somehow Zachariah Branch made it to five.
Yeah.
When all he's done this season is only catch screen passes.
I know.
I don't know, man. Like that was a crazy list to see, and like I said, these guys do this for a reason, so that we're talking about it. And like I said, they don't. It doesn't matter if they're right or wrong. They got their numbers. They got their views. They got their comments. They got their shares, and they succeeded.
So we have right now the consensus is Tate, Tyson, and Makai Lemon.
Uh-huh.
Who's your wide receiver one and why? What separates them from the other ones?
My wide receiver one is Makai Lemon, and I don't think
Okay.
it's particularly close. Makai Lemon is just like you say. He first and foremost, he's a dog. He's a
Mm-hmm.
dog. Like he's gonna fight and claw for you to win. I don't like the way when we evaluate. So like when we evaluate players, we devalue the slot receiver and the nickel corner more than any position, it feels like, when we're evaluating. But when we watch the football games, we're like, man, the slot receiver is the best player on the football field, and the nickelback is the most important player on the football field. So it's just weird to see that. I don't look at Makai Lemon just a slot guy, but
He's not.
even if you did, he's so dynamic in the slot that he can have the same impact as Amon-Ra St. Brown, as CD Lamb, as a Cooper Cup once did. He can have that kind of impact in the slot.
So with Makai Lemon, because I'm a USC Trojans fan, so I've been deep diving into him because he's my wide receiver one. 35% of the offensive plays he played outside, and he was just as dominant outside as he was at slot. Trust me on that, man. And the dude is a yak god, just like a former Trojan, Amon St. Brown.
Absolutely.
So is it because of skill or athletic dominance you pick Lemon?
For me, it's more skill. The way he runs routes, he knows how to tone it down. He knows when to speed it up. He knows how to work zone correctly. I think that another thing that I think is a little overvalued is um, a knock against Carnell Tate that people talk about. They go, well, we haven't seen him play against press man a whole bunch. Can anyone show me the film where an NFL team ran press man the whole game? No, majority of the time, teams are in cover three because they know if they do press man and someone slips, they're going to get toasted down the football field. So I don't like that. But no, with McConnell, like I said, going against all those zones, he knows where to sit. He knows where to get into his quarterback's vision. No, he's just. I just think he's great for today's NFL,
I
and it's
think,
simply off of skill.
and in all honesty, I think all three of them are interchangeable. Number one being number one. It depends on preference, and actually, it might depend on landing spot too.
It could. It
It
could.
could, you know. Michael Goat, how you doing, brother? Happy Friday. It really depends on where the wide receiver goes because last season I went with McMillan instead of Ibuka, and Carolina didn't throw a lot to McMillan. Didn't really. Yes, but also Ibuka slowed down towards the end of the season because of the hammy, and then towards the end of the season, McMillan was starting to turn it up a little bit.
Absolutely. And what I will say about Ted is, Ted didn't. Yeah, he only had about one or two big games, but he was consistent. Like he was consistent,
Yeah, you steady Eddie.
13, 14 points every week. But even though Egbuka was kind of exploding every here and there, At the end of the season, I think Tet was a better selection, whether it was redraft, dynasty. Tet kind of, he kind of proved his cost.
Yeah, I think so. What do you make of? I've seen them going for a wide receiver in the first. And I don't know. I don't think that's necessary for them because I think they're pretty. Maybe later on, I think they need a solid wide receiver three. I think Coker and him are good. So it's going to be interesting. There's a lot of teams that might surprise us on who they freaking draft. You
Yeah.
know. So is there a wide receiver that the community is maybe overhyping? And what's the red flag for a wide receiver? For one of the wide receivers?
I'm big on drops. I'm big on drops, which is crazy to say because Puka had me scared his rookie year. I'm like, this dude
Yeah.
drops everything, but no, he actually fixed it, turned around. Somebody that they're really overhyping. I mean, I kind of want to say Jordan Tyson, honestly.
Like,
I just seen that dude. I mean, when you watch USC, Makai Lemon is there every play, like or every drive. But I feel like Jordan Tyson, it takes so long to see him here and there, and I've said it to a couple of my buddies. Jordan Tyson is a good highlight watch, but if you watch the game, just like where's he at?
it's funny you say that because I was reading a scouting report from an NFL scout, and one of the things that he was like going list for list what he doesn't like about Jordan Tyson. And one of the things he said was when he goes to slants, he catches the ball and just slides down. He doesn't really try to go further.
Mm-hmm.
And he body catches the ball when he doesn't have to. And then when he said that, I started thinking about, I was like, looking at his film, I was like, damn, you're right. Because that was one of the things that I wrote about that I didn't like about him was too many times he lets the ball come to his body and catch it.
Yeah,
I like the high point. I like the receivers that go for the ball, because there's less chance of it bouncing off their chest because they're butterflies or something. But I like that. That's a good call.
no, I that to that hands point. I forgot who I was listening to yesterday, but they're talking about Joey Galloway and how the NFL was so
Ooh.
different just because Joey Galloway showed like what hands catching it really does
Mhm.
and how it like really sets players apart. And yeah, I'm 100% agreeance with you. Body catching. Some guys have kind of actually made it work, but the elite guys, like the elite guys are snagging it out the air and
Yeah.
taking it. Just one like play I can think of like that really kind of shows what could have happened differently, right? I think about like one of the posts that Puka ran against Seattle where like he took it for a touchdown, right? He doesn't catch it in his body and
No, he
run.
doesn't.
He snags it out there and keeps his momentum and keeps going. Like if he had caught it with his body, he may have got tackled. It's just small stuff like that that separates different players and separates those tiers of elite and very very good.
If you think about it, the wide receivers that high point and catch the ball out, and they're by the goal line, that ball is over the goal line already.
Yeah,
Once it catches the body, they're not. So they start to make one more move to get in the end zone. A lot of times they get popped.
exactly.
You
And
know.
then potentially dropping it.
Okay, is there one wide receiver that people are sleeping on that they shouldn't be sleeping on?
Ooh, I got a couple. And one, and I brought him up many a times before. Uh, Chris Bell from Louisville would get them out of the way.
Right.
But my he's become my favorite wide receiver. Like I said, I've been watching Ty Simpson really hard this week. Jeremy Bernard, man.
Mm.
Jeremy Bernard he's gonna be in the league for 12 years.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like a great number two wide receiver. He's
Yep.
gonna be super reliable. I just love that dude. I was watching, I'm like, man, like why does nobody like him like as much as I do? Like I see all these other wide receivers over top of him. But I think Jerry Bernard he plays football the right way, and his biggest knock was, is he fast enough? Is he athletic enough? Well, he went to the combine, ran a 4.47,
Yeah.
and he had a top three cone. You won me over. You won me over.
Yeah.
We didn't think you could run a 4.4, and you're one of the most agile receivers there. You won me over.
And then with him too is the fact that so you have Ryan Williams, the freshman phenom the year before, and then last year it was drop city for him.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Bernard ended up being wide receiver 1, and
It was Jeremy Bernard's. It was Jeremy Bernard's team. It was.
The dude pops, and the whole not fast enough. Sometimes that's overrated.
It is.
Yeah. How many times have you seen? John Ross runs a 4.27 whatever, and he was nothing. Then you have people like Cooper Kupp,
JSN,
or
Luka, like all them dudes.
Anquan Bolden,
Bolden.
These dudes that run a 4.5, 4.6, but just not to separate and get downfield.
Exactly.
And I'm enjoying this. Get fired up, man.
Well, we got to talk about something since someone's not here. Happy birthday.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, happy birthday to the Shepherd, but since he's not here, we got to talk a little bit about tight ends. I think I'm having to change your heart on tight ends too, but do you think there's a tight end that's worth a first-round pick?
I think there's two.
There's two, okay.
I think there's Sadiq and Stowers.
Mm-hmm.
Very much. They both freaking blew up the combine.
Absolutely.
Sadiq, man, the one thing he's better at than Stowers is blocking. His blocking is underrated. If you watch film with him, he's blocking downfield. He can play inside and outside because of his blocking, and that's a bonus for any tight end, man. That's how tight ends don't leave the field. Someone like Oronde Gadsden, I'll just throw that name out there because he's a phenomenal receiver. But one thing he needs to work at to stay on the field all three down is the blocking. That's why the Chargers got to go out and sign who did they sign? Kohler as a blocker tight end. But Stowers, he's good too. He's just not as good as a blocker. But both of them showed up and showed out, man. And they get in the right position. I mean, picture Sadiq with freaking the Niners. I hate to say that too, or the Broncos, even Stowers with the Niners or the Broncos, or heir apparent to Kelsey. And these dudes could actually win you some championships.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with you as far as Stowers, and I think this goes back to the like the floor and the ceiling argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Sadiq has that super high floor that you just can't turn away. Like, he's going to be an all-around great tight end for you. I don't know if he would ever be like 1,000-yard tight end, but he could be 750, great blocker, move around, make the stat, like his stats won't show how important he is to the team. But I look at Eli Stowers and I go, Can this dude really be like a 1,200, 1,300-yard wide receiver? Like, can he be like a Trey McBride? Like, can he really? I think he can. I think he can be a real difference maker in the slot at tight end. He'll get bigger. He'll get stronger. He hasn't always played tight end. He's only been playing tight end for the past 3 years now.
Right.
He's gonna get it.
Converted quarterback, correct?
Yeah, he played quarterback. Yep.
So and I love this about running backs or wide receivers or tight ends. When they're converted quarterback, they have a better knowledge of what the actual defense is doing.
You can see it too.
They can see it. So it's so much different. And Trey McBride was not Trey McBride coming out.
No. No, absolutely not.
Man, yeah, let me a good tight end. Oof. Ready for more. To give you a couple that maybe that people are sleeping on too is a Trig, which they showed him doing the lateral jump, and it was
that was bad.
But what came out afterwards, after everybody was dogging him, is he had a hammy issue.
Yeah, I hope he did.
I hope so too. But Justin Jolly.
Yep.
Is something you look out for. And Ordell Depp.
Oh, Oscar Delp.
Yep, Delp.
Yeah.
He's somebody too that you can get these tight ends in the end of the second, third, maybe end of the third, and they especially like a Jolly that could actually be like Harold Fannin last year,
Yeah, I mean
or Ronnie Gadsden,
this tight end class is very deep. Um, I think there's going to be. I think there's going to be. I'll let we look at this 2 or 3 years down the line. I think we'll look back and go, how wasn't he drafted before Kenyon Sadiq? Only because we're going to look at it fantasy wise, and I think there's going to be people that are more productive as a receiver than Kenyon Sadiq. Like you said, Michael Trigg, Sam Roush, Max Clare, Justin Jolie, one of my guys, Eli Rardon from Notre Dame. Like I love that dude. Complete tight end, Oscar Delp.
Roush.
Like this could potentially be like a 15 deep tight end class.
And the thing about that too is like in rookie drafts, you can get them in the third and fourth round.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because the funny thing you just said about the tight ends, about looking back, I think we're going to be saying the same thing about the running back class.
Oh yeah.
I really do.
Every time it's a quote unquote weak class, there's always there's always someone late in the rounds that absolutely pops, right?
Yeah.
So I remember, a couple years ago when JSN was wide receiver one, it was it's a weak wide receiver class, but we got Pook out of that class. We got
Yes, we
JSN
did.
out of that class, and they're the two best wide receivers in the league. I think about a couple years ago, I can't remember who went before him, but the Bucky Irving class. That was a quote unquote weak running back
Yeah.
class. And we got Bucky Irving and he's the top, so every time there's a quote unquote weak class, there's always a guy in the later rounds that, that tend to surprise us, and it maybe be one, it might even be two.
Didn't even like last year, the rookies were hyped, but to me, they didn't really live up to that hype at all.
Oh yeah, even look, another example.
Yeah.
Last year's quarterback class was quote unquote weak, but the Saints think they have a franchise quarterback. The Giants think they have a franchise quarterback. Tennessee thinks they have a franchise quarterback. So I mean, what is it really a weak class if we
It's Goats is landing spots and coaching staff.
absolutely.
Michael Goat, would it be better to draft a wide receiver goes later in the draft because with the draft order this year, the teams with the top draft really don't have good quarterbacks?
I think you draft the talent.
Yeah.
If you think someone's talented, you draft them. I think about Garrett Wilson, right? Like Garrett Wilson's extremely talented. He's shown that no matter kind of who the quarterback is there, he's going to produce. And I don't think they would trade that away if they had the opportunity to pick Garrett Wilson again.
Yeah, I think the only at 101, I think 101 and 102 it starts getting tricky, I think, with the draft. But 101, I mean, you're going Jeremiah Love. You're going Jeremiah Love at 101. 102, it's different. I'm still going like you said, I'm drafting talent. Even
Wait,
though
are we talking about Dynasty draft, or are we talking about real life draft? Would he better to draft where it goes later in the draft because of the draft order? Greg, clarify that question.
yeah.
I think you're talking about real life draft.
I thought I'd talk about because my mind is on Dynasty and stuff right now.
Well, answer the question the way you were going to answer. Go ahead.
Yeah, but I think you're like you still draft talent. Whether it's Dynasty, redraft, okay, fantasy. So you're drafting talent.
In Dynasty too. In Dynasty also, I'm drafting talent. If I believe in that guy, I'm drafting him. I made that mistake before where I didn't draft a guy because of the situation, and he kind of overcame it. So I don't want to make that mistake twice. So whether it be Dynasty or real life, I'm taking the guy if I feel like he's extremely talented.
Even there's a lot of people that are saying they're going to fade on any wide receiver that goes to the Jets because of Geno and the whole situation. I think that's just not good thinking. Don't do that. Go. I mean, okay, just with that, just go and look at Frank Wright and his offensive system, and then make decisions. Make your decisions that way. And from now to the draft, look at the wide receivers and look at film and stuff, and make up your own decision, you know. But you want to draft talent over anything else.
How many people won leagues because of Chris Olave last year?
Yeah, no, yeah, because my ass is saving him.
Yeah, so I mean, the reasons why we weren't picking Chris Olave was one because of the concussions, but also two, his quarterback situation. We are like, we don't know about that quarterback
Hmm.
situation there in New Orleans. And at the end of the day, he ended up being a top 10 wide receiver, and where you drafted him, he probably helped you win your league. So
Yeah,
like I said, no matter what, if you feel the value is great enough, you draft the talent over everything. And I know situation is also a factor, but sometimes you got to just draft the talent.
I agree, man. I agree. Hey, and I think that's it, man. Fire show, man. Goats, remember, please like and subscribe. Stay in touch. Look for our content. We'll be doing more stuff this week. We have some divisional stuff that's in our library that you can go check out. That we're giving draft grades on stuff, man. Any last words, Jix?
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Shepard. Goats, make sure you leave a comment saying happy birthday to him.
Absolutely.
And as always, man, be a difference, make a difference, stay blessed, and we appreciate all you guys. Have a nice weekend.